Long time, everyone. Welcome. Excited to have you join us again.
Yes, we decided that we missed everybody. I feel like I'm at the Oscars. I've missed everybody. How is
Yeah.
everybody doing today?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we did a lot for the last little while. We've been hunkered down and producing lots of new content and trainings, and we have been super busy with our community and coaching and new clients. But we realized that we were finally okay. Not only do we have to come back and do hot topics because everyone keeps asking for it, but we also are starting Tech City today as well.
Yes. Yeah, something I think it's always interesting when people have ideas, right? And those ideas end up on the back burner, right? Because
Right.
other priorities take effect. So
Yep.
sometimes it's okay, are those ideas still worthy to go forward? Or are
Right.
those ideas kind of going, you know what, maybe not? And Tech City has always been one that has always moved to the forward, and then client, as we all
Yeah.
know, right? Clients and community and all of that kind of stuff had to take priority. So
Yeah.
we put it on the front burner for 2024 and
Yes.
wanted to move forward because I'm finding it's just such an exciting time when it comes to technology, and it's an exciting time when it comes to all the stuff that's out there that business owners can now do either on their own or outsource the people who are they're outsourcing to. It's easier it's just there's so much and it's exciting.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the cool thing is, for those of you who are in our community, we do live coaching every Wednesday, and part of it is we have been obviously sharing tech, but more importantly, when you're in our coaching community, you can ask us, right? Hey, what can I use for this? Because we're going to talk to you today about some of the tech that we use, but we don't know exactly what you need. So our coaching, our community members are always saying, "This is what I have to do. Is there anything you know?" And yes, there's always something we know in the tech world.
Do you
So
have a tool for that? Yes, we do. Right?
yes,
Is
we
there
do.
something that can help me speed up this process? Yes, and we probably know one. And I think what's really fun is, and we've talked about this a lot in the past, is how much we love to test technology. So we
Yeah,
love to test different programs. So even though we say yes, there's probably three or four that we've focused on or tested out,
yeah,
and this is the one that we think is the best for user experience, easeability, how you can make the flow all the way through, because there's some programs that do like one or two pieces and this goes over here and does, another two pieces. But then you find one that's like, wow, it does it all. And we get so
yeah.
excited.
Well, that's what's exciting about 2024. So, interesting today, Hot Topics is going to blend almost right into Tech City because we're kind of talking about all of that because that is the forefront. 2024 is all about fast moving
Yeah.
technology, mostly with AI. And that's what we want to talk about. But what's interesting is, had we launched Tech City last year with
Mhm.
our hot topics, it wouldn't have been the same because the volume of now software has exploded. It's exploded, and there is so many different tools. And the cool part is they're almost all good,
That,
right?
that's the problem. Like
Yeah,
it,
it's a
it
huge problem.
actually is a little, thank goodness we love to do it. We love to test, we
Yeah,
love to try, we do trials. If we put our sort of quote unquote stamp of approval on it, it's because we have actually used it
we're using
in
it.
real
Yeah,
life examples. But it's true. Like they are all really, really good now. So it's actually becoming more difficult because before it was very easy for us to discern, okay, well, we'll purchase this one, but not this one. Now it's like, yikes. Like it's actually like, I really like this one, but I really like this one too. And I really
yeah,
like this
which
one.
one
And
do we use?
yeah,
Like that, and literally on a daily basis. Like every time I look at my notifications, there's something new because we are in obviously all the appropriate lists
yep.
to make sure that we are forefront in the knowledge of what's coming up and what's new and what's helping you drive your business as well as optimizing, your internal hours, your revenue, everything that you've spent a lot of time doing and, is now changed to several minutes instead of several days or hours or however long it took you. But what's interesting is we have spent a disproportionate amount of our time with our clients for the last couple months on AI.
Yes.
And if you've not dipped your toe into the AI field, now is the time. And it's not scary. It's
Nope.
quite easy to start. And we have spent a great deal of time with not only our community, but associations that we've been doing webinars for on AI, and clients that want us to solely focus on what they need for their AI pieces, and can we go ahead and implement it for them, because they just want to know how to use it, but they don't want to set it up, which is great. We don't mind at all because we think it's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But I think it was really interesting. One of our
oh, sorry, that's my dog.
so Oz is saying hello, and that's all good to whoever's coming to your front door.
Yeah.
But I think it was really interesting. I think one of the last webinars that we did for an association, it was very interesting to see the diversity around, yes, I've kind of played with it and kind of dipped my toe into, versus other people hadn't even tried it. And then
Right.
during, they had done exactly what we had told them to do. And then they're like, oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know it could do that. Like, I didn't know it could help
And
me
I
that
think,
much.
well, I think the problem is if you are watching us or listening to us right now and you've heard of it, but you haven't even looked at it, and you might think it doesn't play well in your industry, I guarantee you, it will play well in any industry, in anything you do, and even if you're not in a business, for your day to day life. We've said this a lot, that you've been using it on a daily basis anyway. If you're using Siri or Alexa, or you're looking at Netflix and it's giving you recommendations based on what you're watching, or any of the social media algorithms that are out there, that is all AI. So you're already there. It's just a matter of embracing it and saying, "Hey, what can I do?"
Well,
Right?
also
What
in
can
the
I
programs that I think are already in existence, it's all of a sudden you'll see like a little magic button on the right that says, hey, do you want, AI to help you write this? If you're
Right.
doing, even Facebook ads, I'll go into the back end of a Meta, I guess I should call it, in the back end of the Facebook Meta industry platform. And all of a sudden I'm like writing the copy and there's this little magic button that says, hey, like, do you want some suggestions? So they rewrite what I've already written in a
Right.
different way. And all of a sudden, I have 6 or 7 different versions of that particular ad copy. And that's not even going outside the Meta platform. So, taking all of that, all the different programs are now integrating AI into what they do on their back end. So,
Every one of them.
even Canva, right? They've got Magic
Canva's
Write.
one of the biggest ones. And,
Yeah.
if you guys haven't looked into Canva, or you probably have it and you only use it to make, thumbnails and stuff, but it does everything. It can create videos for you. It can, one of the coolest things that we looked at and found a couple of weeks ago. And listen, we learn it from all different vehicles. So it's
Yeah.
not like, we know everything, but we're always cognitively, we're looking for it. So Canva, what you can do now, which is the coolest thing I've seen, is you can bring in a graphic that has writing on it, and Canva will allow you to click. Can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Grab
Text. I
text
think
or
it's text
something,
grab.
and you can go ahead and change those words, keeping the exact same font if you want, everything as is. Because for those of you who have played with AI for pictures, even the ads that Stacy was talking about, the one thing AI doesn't do that well is spell for some reason. And
Yeah,
they
really
always seem to get
interesting, right? Yeah. We don't know
weird.
why yet.
No. So you can take that graphic into Canva, click that button, it'll change it. Or you can say, grab the specific, if there's a person in it, it'll grab that person and take it out, fix all the background on its own, and then you can input whoever you want in it. So Canva's an amazing feature. That's not what we're talking about in Tech City, but we talk about Canva because literally we're in it every day, right? Most people are. But I
And I think
mean,
it's also a good way for people who have not had any experience with AI, because a lot of people use Canva for
yes.
all kinds of different things. So it's a great way to dip your toe into, again, Magic Write, the images, expanding images, background removal, changing text from an image that you imported that already had it in. Like
Making
there's so much stuff. Yeah,
entire presentations with just telling it what you want to talk about. It will find that presentation for you and create at least the first several slides so that you know how to stay online with it, which is great. But one of the things that I think that we get a lot of pushback on, and we did in several of our webinars with associations, is that people go, well, if I use it, is it plagiarism and ethically and this and that? And we asked the last question, last webinar, we said, where would you use it? And they said, well, if I'm writing blogs, I can't just use it as is. And I'm like, wait a second. What do you think it does, right? It doesn't grab somebody's pre-written blog. What it does is it goes out there and it scours the internet and it searches for all the really great information for what you are looking for in a blog, condenses it. So it does your work for you, your research, it condenses it, brings it in, and then you can use that as an outline, and you can also use it, you can put it in your own words. But, they said, well, but is that plagiarism? Well, I said, well, if you wrote a blog today, what do? You go out and read everybody else's blogs and papers and research. You look at them, you take the best points, you condense them, right? So all that ChatGPT or Gemini are doing for you is they're your research assistant. How cool is that? So it went from an entire day maybe of researching to literally 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't like the way it sounds, I think the best one that I saw, because I don't find I talk in, kind of university professor, very serious tone sometimes because we get it. So I was like, can you make it more witty? Can you make it more sarcastic? That kind of stuff. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, that sounds more like me.
One of the best prompts to use is redo in a grade 8 level education.
And that's an interesting one.
And then it totally changes. And then for you guys, so before I forget, we have free training. We have a couple of free training masterclasses on AI in our community. So you can go to our community. It's hub.themastermind.city. Yes?
It is.
And I get that right. And you can join for free and watch these. But here's why you want to do it. Because in the first basic one, I'm going to show you how to actually use the way you write and the way you speak, and ask ChatGPT or Gemini to do it in the way you sound when you write. And it's very simple. It's a little tiny prompt, but if it's there for you, we also have a whole pile of prompts already ready for you within our community. So I encourage you, it's free. I encourage you to watch the masterclass so that you can feel comfortable with being able to go, okay, I think I can do this, and just play with it and have a good time. But if you are not doing anything, now is the time. Carve out an hour, carve out whatever you can. It doesn't have to be during the day. It can be at night or whatever you want, but carve out some time to actually say, okay, I'm going to learn this, because it's going to be rapidly changing everything, right? As Stacy said, it's in every corner of everything that you look at now. And if you don't start acknowledging that, you won't be able to take advantage of all the new programs. And trust me, we'll be talking about AI programs on Tech City for all year.
There's some really good ones. Absolutely. So is there a disadvantage, in your opinion, to using AI?
No. Can I actually just say that?
Because there are people who are kind of pushing back again, well, what about that personal touch? What about that human interaction? What about, because I'll admit you make a phone call to a customer service line and it's getting, more difficult to get in touch with.
It is, but I think there's a difference between, understand that, when you're holding, especially for banks and for like Bell Canada, they're terrible. They have a lot of hoops that, I was on pressing a million buttons to get somewhere the other day. That's not because of AI. That's been going around for a long time.
Absolutely.
Actually, AI will make it faster.
It does, because it actually is recognizing your voice better and it's giving you answers based on the information from the site. So sometimes it can be very helpful. I think sort of what I'm seeing is that AI is such a big topic. Everyone's calling everything AI,
Right.
from, again, like you said, Siri or Alexa, their AI, and then coming all the way down as I, activate mine from that.
I mean, I guess, as I said, if you watch our masterclass, you're going to understand all the basics of it, which you just need a little bit of basics. That's all you really need to start. And then once you realize, what it can do and how much time it can save you, that's number one. First of all, it's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of grief, a lot of research, and it'll help your business grow. In terms of, and let me just give you an example, sorry, in terms of business growing. You talked about wanting answers and you want to maybe talk to somebody personally. Here's the thing, and this is where maybe I disagree with some people, but sometimes I don't want a person. I want the answer. And how many of you call and you're smarter than that person on the line? And that drives me crazy because I want the answer and that person doesn't have the answer. AIs are trained to have the answer. So you can put a bot on your website and it can scrape all the data. And then if somebody asks that bot a question, the bot will answer based on your data. So I'll give you an example that happened today. A company that we do a lot of work with announced this upgrade, this thing that they want to upgrade. And they said, if you upgrade because you're a beta tester, you can have a free month. Great. Well, how much is the regular price? It's great if I could have a free month, but what would I pay after, right?
Right.
So I went to their bot, no answer. So then I went to their chat with a real person and they said, I have to get back to you. We'll send you an email. And then I got an email that said, we haven't released the public pricing yet, so we'll let you know. Well, there's two problems here. One is they should never have sent out an email, first of all. But the other problem is, had it been trained, a bot been trained with the pricing page, it could have given me an answer in 10 seconds.
Right.
That's all I wanted. I did not want to talk to anyone. I just wanted an answer.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about the background. I don't want to talk about the why. I don't want to talk about other services.
No.
I want my solo answer.
So I think it's massive what it can accomplish and how much time it can save you. So I want you all to think about the last time you were waiting for tech support or you're waiting for any support and you ended up talking to somebody that didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Right? You might have waited 45 minutes for a real person to come online and you didn't get an answer.
Yeah. Or just you wanted something simple like yes or no. Can I do this? Yeah. What's, like you said, what's the price? Whatever the case may be, right?
So I think it's very important that everyone jumps on board and starts learning because it is moving in a rapid pace. And even though you don't think it can help your industry, I guarantee you it will. It will. Absolutely any business, industry, anything you can think of, it can help you. It can even help you in your personal life. So definitely help you in school. And what's great? I love one of the things that if I was a student, what I would do is it summarizes videos for you, right?
Yes.
So if you are watching a prof who's given you an online lecture or given you a video or an audio, you can plug it in and it will summarize the key points. So there's nothing there that's cheating. It's just
or even just listening to the lecture, you can click the button that says transcribe it, a live transcription as they talk, and then ask, what are the key points? Study notes, summarization. Yeah. Again, that's not cheating because the prof is sitting there saying, this is really important. It should be on the test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so the difference is what took you 3 days before to summarize, because, sometimes these lectures are very long, would literally take you 10 minutes. So then you would actually be able to spend time learning the concept and understanding it and working through it and studying. rather than listening to a very long-winded, lecture that may not be, maybe like I said, there's 3 key points and that's all you really needed, right?
Well, that's the unfortunate part. I remember in university, like, that's great that this is an hour, but it could have really probably been 10 minutes. It's all
Exactly.
I really need to know. Yeah,
So
I
it's the
think from
same
that
thing with,
perspective, it's great.
so you could theoretically go to our hub. You could watch, you could put an AI to listen to my masterclass, and then you could ask the AI to summarize the key points. Like, how cool is that?
Well, I've been having a lot of fun from the AI perspective in regards to video, and we just did the One Shot Wonder video clip workshop.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different programs that do that. But what I'm finding is that it is getting better and better.
Yeah.
So, there's one that
From
I just,
last month,
yeah,
when you did it.
yes, literally. We literally did it a month ago, and there's
Yeah.
already 2 programs that supersede some of the
Yeah.
stuff. And that's why we have the resources page that we're constantly updating so that you can see those new programs. But what I'm finding is, they suggest, clips, they suggest information that's going to be more valuable to the listeners because they understand what you're looking for and what
Yeah.
viewers might be looking for, et cetera, et cetera. And then they're like, but if you don't like this clip, you can get your own and you can do all the stuff. I'm like, no, I'm good. You did a
Exactly.
great job. No editing required. So I love the fact that it's so much easier to be able to pull small pieces of information because we know that, we have short attention spans,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily that we have short attention spans. It's just that we want the information in a concise piece of content rather than having to listen to somebody for an hour. Can you give me a couple of minutes where I can get the
Yeah.
key points? And
Yeah.
then they're pulling different pieces together. So I'm really happy with how that is becoming
Yeah.
a much easier process.
Well, I'd like to, you know what? Here's a good analogy for everyone. How many of you read summaries? We have on our site. We have book summaries. So it ends up being a 10-minute video that you can watch, and it summarizes an entire book, so you don't have to read it.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's so many book summaries and apps on right now that you can, like, there's one that I just got, Headway, I think it's called, that you can listen 10 minutes or you can read it, or it'll change it into an infographic for you. So that, yeah, it's very cool. So you don't have, and I use it just because I like to listen when I'm in the car. I listen to short summaries because they're only 10 minutes.
Yep.
So, and we have our own. So, but I've already listened to those because that's why we have the summary. So I try to listen to other ones. But here's the thing, they're very well known. It's kind of like the old school Cole's Notes, Sparks Notes. Remember when you're in school?
Oh,
And
I
it's
remember Cole's Notes. Nobody in today's going to remember Cole's Notes.
no. So that was when you're in school, and I think it's called Sparks Notes in the United States, right? I think.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
then you would have this big huge book that you're supposed to read, and it would summarize it, and it would give you key points, characters, etc. So really think of AI as doing the same thing, right? It's exact same thing. It's taking all that information and distilling it down so you can learn it very quickly. So you can imagine the volume of information you can learn because now you've taken what used to be hours of your time and condensed it down to a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Which is very, very cool.
So again, you need to go to the hub and watch AI, honestly, because every single day we have questions from people on our social media or emailing us, or while we're just out and about. They're always asking us about AI. And the best thing you can do is find a free resource, which we have for you, and at least understand the big picture so that you're able to go ahead and bring it home.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like you said before, it's, oh, but that won't work for my industry. Oh, I know it's good for business owners or small businesses or something like that, but that's not going to really work for my industry. And yes, 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 and yes, right? So I think that's been the fun thing when doing some of these webinars is when we pull up actual prompts for their industry and
For
to
their
see what it
industry.
produces. Like we customize the presentation and we pull it up and they're like, oh, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know it could do that.
Yeah, so if you have an industry or an association, reach out because we do webinars on AI for anybody. So anything you can possibly think of, we can show you how to integrate AI into it. So it's just as Stacy said, it's anything you can possibly think of, any industry. People just don't think about it. So I encourage you. You can do ChatGPT, Gemini. I can't ever remember Microsoft's name
I
for
can
free.
never remember that
Sorry,
one.
we don't use Microsoft. So,
We're not Microsoft people.
but all of those language models are free. So you do not have to upgrade. You can just go for free, try it out, and again, look at all your software because it's probably already integrated and you don't even know it because you haven't paid attention. And like us, like sometimes we look at our software and we go, oh, I just found one yesterday. I hadn't logged into this program in over a year. And they sent an email out and they said, hey, we've incorporated AI. And I was like, oh, okay. So I logged in and there it was, but I didn't know they were even doing it. Never even occurred to me.
Well, that's where, again, it is literally in every corner of any of the online space. If you go there, there's probably some sort of magic button somewhere on all the programs
Yes.
that you use. It's now integrated. It's part of what programs are doing. And if you haven't logged into some of your programs, I would encourage you to do that because I think it's probably there. They've probably done an upgrade and you can probably use the program a little bit differently than you did in the past.